Welcome to the 2021 Wine and Spirit Wholesalers of America Brand Battle Tournament Wine Competition. Brand Battle is the alcohol industry's premier pitch competition, and WSWA is proud to bring you this event that shows just what wholesalers consider when finding and helping brands get to market. I'm Michelle Korsmo, and I'm the president and CEO of the Wine and Spirit Wholesalers of America. WSWA represents the companies who supply wine and spirit beverages to all retail locations, including restaurants, clubs, bars, grocery stores, chain retailers, convenience stores, and your local independent retailer. By serving the entire industry, wholesalers are expert in what makes a product attractive to different segments of the market. Wholesalers know what sells and what's needed to fill out a company's product portfolio, and what trends are driving today's marketplace. Through their important business relationship with brands, wholesalers distribute and help bring the wine and spirit producers' vision to life. I am excited to learn more about the vision of today's contenders and the stories behind their brands. But first, I would like to thank our tournament sponsors. 750 Beverage Media Group is the WSWA Tournament Media Partner. 750 Beverage Media Group has highlighted the tournament in their publications and is doing great work engaging with the contenders and winners throughout the summer. They have been a longtime supporter of WSWA and its various programs, and we are thankful for their continued support. Other tournament sponsors include Beverage Brand Ambassador Academy, The Cocktail Guru, London Essence, Gap Promotions, Low and No Beverage Summit, and the Wine Industry Network. Thank you to everyone for helping make this tournament possible. Today, you will be hearing from 6 different wine companies who will spend a few minutes each presenting information about their products. After each presentation, the wholesaler judges will have a few minutes to ask questions and provide feedback. I encourage all of you watching to add your own questions and thoughts in the chat box at the bottom of the screen. We will try to answer all of the questions that come through during the tournament today. At the end of today's competition, we will announce our category winners from our judges' votes and the People's Choice winner for this category, the winner selected by all of you, our virtual audience, tuning in to today's competition. The Judges' Choice winner will move on to the championship round in September. I'm proud to now introduce our esteemed panel of wholesaler judges participating. Together, this group of wholesalers represents businesses varying in size from across the country and brings over 100 years of combined experience and expertise in the wine and spirits industry. These industry leaders are always looking for the next up-and-coming brand. Let me introduce our judges. First up, we have Steve Slater with Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. Steve began his career in retail, managing fine wine shops. This led him to a position as an off-premise salesperson in Orange County for Southern Wine and Spirits. He is currently EVP, General Manager of the Wine Division for all of Southern's markets, including all new markets. Steve lived in Brazil for 6 years, is fluent in Portuguese, is a certified wine specialist of wine, a former licensed falconer, and collects classic cars. Next up, we have Leon Sakota from Republic National Distributing Company. Leon has been in the industry for over 30 years. His qualifications include owning and operating a fine dining restaurant along with a catering company. He started an international wine and spirits importing company partnership that was represented in over 20 states. Leon has participated in RNDC's wine education as the invigilator, if I'm getting that right, for the Wine and Spirits Education Trust. He holds the advanced certificate with WSWA and the advanced from the Court of Master Sommeliers. Dr. Michael Woodward is our next judge. Michael is the Director of Performance Optimization at United Distributors. Michael is also a learning and talent development expert, professor, author, and speaker with more than 35 years of experience in sales, sales management, leadership and organizational development, training and talent development, change management, and building and leading corporate learning functions. Now we have Amy Barrio, the Vice President and one of the 4th generation owners of Central Distributors located in Maine. She currently drives strategy for the company's wine division, as well as leading all sales functions. Amy has experience in marketing, corporate accounts, managing on and off trade channels, brand development, and acquisition. Next up is Chad Lapp. Chad is the EVP of Sales for O-Pee-Chee Family Distributing in New Jersey. Chad has had a variety of experience, having worked at Jaylor Corporation as a sales representative, and then moving into sales management at O-Pee-Chee. Chad briefly left O-Pee-Chee to take the role of SVP of Sales for Precept Wines, and then came back to O-Pee-Chee in his current role. Welcome, Chad. Our final judge for today's tournament is Cheryl Murphy Jersey. Cheryl managed wholesaler sales for her family's 80,000 case winery for over 17 years. In June 2016, she started LibDib, the first alcohol distributor and technology company to offer 3-tier compliant web and mobile-based platform. Cheryl has had a full understanding of the industry and issues regarding alcohol distribution in the United States. She is passionate about evolving the current system by offering all wineries and distilleries an opportunity to sell their products to the businesses that want them. She is truly entrenched in the industry, having sat on several boards, including the California Sustainable Wine Association and Free the Grapes. Thank you all for participating in judges for today's competition. I look forward to hearing from all of you on your feedback, especially considering your varied and interesting backgrounds and the advice that you have to give to our contenders and their products. Now, I would like to introduce today's host for the remainder of the program, Bill Rancic. Bill has been a part of, absolutely.
No, thank you, Michelle. Keep going though, keep going.
Of course, I have to brag on you for a while, Bill. Bill has been a part of the WSWA brand battle as a judge for several years. You are obviously a well-known American entrepreneur and restaurateur, so I'm so glad to have that background in your role with us at Brand Battle. So for everybody viewing today, please join me in welcoming Bill Rancic.
Thank you, Michelle.
Introduce the contenders.
I will. Yeah, thank you, Michelle, and it's a privilege to be here today. It's been several years now that I've been working with you guys, and as you mentioned, I'm the co-owner of the RPM Restaurant Group, and I'm also the co-owner of Giuliana Prosecco. We've partnered with a very well-known wine family called the Terlato Wine Family, and we launched Giuliana Prosecco about 5 years ago. So we're really excited about that. But
you should tell
certainly
everybody who Giuliana is.
Giuliana is my wife, Giuliana Rancic. The host of the Red Carpet, and she was at E! News and Fashion Police, and she's an amazing wife and mom, but we decided to make a beautiful Prosecco, and actually Steve Slater is, he runs the distribution for us, so I'm glad you're on the panel today as a judge, Steve, so thank you so much. But anyway, it's been great hosting. I did the vodka gin tournament as well as the ready to drink brand battle tournament. And it's been absolutely exciting. I'm glad I'm not a judge this year because they have had a very, very challenging time because everybody is presenting so well. And I think everyone's going to do a great job today. So with that said, I want to introduce to you our 6 impressive companies who were selected to talk about their products. And it's really going to be an exciting day. So from the Republic of Pink, we have Jason Martin. We also have Steve Peck and Cynthia Lohr from Jaylor. Natalie Vrimia from Rouge collection. I hope I got that right. My French is so-so. From MyStory Wines, we have Alexi Kamenko. From Good Fucking Wine, I hope my son's not in the room here. We have Scott Maybaum, I love that name. And finally, from Le Star, we have Stéphane Rouverul. So welcome everybody. I know you guys are going to do an amazing job today. I know, just be yourselves. Your products are going to sell themselves, and it's going to be really, really exciting. So please welcome our first contender to this tournament, Jason Martin from Republic of Pink. The Republic of Pink mission is quite simple: to make the best rosé in the world, right in California. Take it away, Jason.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate being here. Excited to talk to everyone. Let me just jump right in. So as was already mentioned, we have a really singular mission here in the Republic of Pink. We want to make the best rosé on the planet right here in sunny California. We know the French have done a great job of convincing us for years that the best rosés have to come from Provence. But quite frankly, we're here to change that a little bit. So a bit about me. Like all great CEOs, I got my start as a waiter. In a French bistro, that was an institution where I grew up. There I was schooled on all things rosé, French rosé especially, which was a revelation to me because most of what I knew about pink wine at the time came from what I saw of my mom, on New Year's Eve pouring that one glass of strawberry arbor mist. And so learning that the pink wine could be as complex, layered, and diverse as any other style of wine got me completely hooked. Later on, I moved to California and realized that not only are we growing the best Rhone grapes in the nation, but at the time for most California winemakers, pink wine was just an afterthought. It wasn't something they were really focused on, which got me thinking, how do we show the world how great California rosé can really be? Ultimately, we have to make rosé the California way. So, like all great California startups, Republic of Pink was born in a garage. And once I got the recipe right, the juice, which I'll talk about in a second, I focused immediately on the brand. Now, between waiting tables and launching Republic of Pink, I spent 15 years in innovation consulting, helping large companies build and launch new brands. So when it came time to point that lens at myself, I knew I had the skills to help us stand out and get this right. Now, with Republic of Pink, we've created a brand that's a state of mind. And so everything we do is tailored to reflecting our own unique California approach to doing things. Now, California has a history of doing things differently. We also don't take ourselves too seriously. So we started by creating a brand that was tailored to both men and women. Now, I know that women are the primary consumers in the category, but I got to tell you, as a rosé loving dude, a lot of what's on the shelf is just not welcoming to me. It's not something I want to pick up and bring to a party. So, we know dudes love rosé too. So we wanted to create a package that beckons you, come to California, home of the best rosé on earth. So our blend in the bottle is GSM Cab Franc that not only sets us apart from our domestic peers who are largely focused on making single varietal rosés of Pinot Noir or Grenache, but it also speaks to those drinkers who are looking for rosés that are French style. So, that's great. We must be doing something right because our two vintages are back-to-back 90-point scores from enthusiasts. So people are liking what we're putting in the bottle, which is great. Our brand is built for chains on and off-prem. And for off-prem, we've got cases designed for stacking and POS that tells our story about rosé the California way, linking to a really fun brand video that some of you may have already seen. We know younger drinkers are interested in transparent labeling. So we put a QR code on our label that links to our nutrition and ingredient info. For on-prem chains, we got a fun name that helps us jump off the list. And we work with our distribution partners to make sure we're $10 by the glass to make us broadly applicable to the broadest possible market. And speaking of pricing, we're hitting the shelf off-prem at 14 to 18 bucks a bottle, everybody making great margin in between there. We know that that price point is where quality and volume intersect, and our sales numbers are proving that. In Texas alone, we're already up 5x over last year, and it's only July.
Awesome.
And lastly, we have our own sales force. So we aren't coming to distribution partners asking you to help us grow an unknown brand from scratch. We're looking for partners who can help us fulfill an initial wave of orders while we work with you to lay out a tailored growth strategy, incentive plan, work with strategy, etc.
All right, Jason, I think I got to cut. Well, if we could just wrap it up real quick, that'd be great.
5 seconds. In a nutshell,
Okay.
That's us. Great brand, great package. I look forward to taking this brand to the finals, but more importantly, judges, I look forward to the opportunity to start the conversation about how we can get our brand moving in your markets. We've proven our value in every market we enter, and we'll continue to do so until we're the undisputed category leader. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. Great presentation. It's time to bring back our panel of judges. We're going to start with Steve Slater from Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. Steve, any questions, any feedback Take it
Two
away.
real quick questions. What is the tie-in with commercial aviation? It's in your point of sale. It's on your label.
Yeah, so we just, we wanted the label to say, welcome to California. We wanted you to feel like you were about to touch down in California. And so once we had created that experience, we thought, oh, well, wouldn't it be fun to start to build an experience around that? I know a lot of people experience California from the air for the first time. They're coming in and landing maybe in Southern California or Northern California. And that whole experience of coming into California and that anticipation it builds, we wanted to hook into that.
And second and last question, how many states are you currently distributed in?
We're distributed in, we're in about 8 or 10 right now. So California, Nevada, Texas, a handful in the Midwest, and we just launched in the Pacific Northwest. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate your questions.
Jason, are you in any national retail, or is it all local chains?
It's all regional right now. We're looking to build those relationships, but at 2 years old, we're still just developing our relationships with those buyers.
I think Cheryl might have a question as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Leon.
I was just going to say, I like your approach. It's more of a comment, Jason, than anything. I like your approach to rosé. Rosés are extremely popular, but it's a crowded category. Yeah. But your wines were delicious, and at $10, that's a perfect price point.
Thanks, Leon. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
And I think Cheryl has a question. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a really good strategy to get to the distributor. Your POS was great. How will you be enticing consumers to purchase off the shelves?
So I think part of what we will do with any new launch is do a social and digital strategy, an awareness campaign that targets that regional market. But wherever possible, we're also working with our retail partners. So in Texas, for example, there's a $1 bounty for the sales staff on every bottle sold. So we know that that's a critical marketing effort for us to have, consumers who are looking in overwhelmed by the size and scale of the category, have somebody go, here you go, here's a bottle you should take home.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl, great question.
Any of other judges have any questions?
I do. Jason, how would you go ahead and expand the brand once you have distributor coverage nationally?
Well, I think that's a great question. And I mean, ultimately, I have to leave that to the market. We don't have enough signals from consumers yet illustrating where else they would want us to go. And so I think that for me, that would be the critical feedback point. I mean, the next logical extension would be to do a sparkler, work with the same blend, but put it in a sparkling bottle. We could also do single varietal expressions of the grapes that are in the bottle if people want to learn more about how Mourvèdre tastes on its own. But I wouldn't want to get too far over our skis too early and jump out with a portfolio that's just too confusing and overwhelming. So ultimately, I just want to wait and see where the interest is in the market itself.
Have you thought about a prosé? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Amy.
I apologize. Just a couple of comments. The shape of the label and capsule really set your package apart. I really liked it. I think the wine obviously is extremely solid in the bottle. And I particularly like the shippers for display. I think that would set up in an off-premise location really, really well. So congratulations to you on your enthusiast and spectator ratings. And I really like your package a lot.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Yeah, my background is in design, and so I was able to finally put all that college design education to good use. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you to the judges for the questions. Thank you, Jason, for kicking us off. Now we're on to our second set of presenters, Cynthia Lohr and Steve Peck from Jaylor Vineyards and Wines. Check this out. They founded the company 47 years ago by Jerry Lohr, and it is still family owned and operated today. Jaylor Vineyards and Wines crafts a full line of internationally recognized wines from sustainably farmed estate vineyards and Paseo Robles, Monterey County, and Napa Valley. They're sharing a wine that's aptly named Jaylor Pure Paseo. That's just in its second vintage. Steve and Cynthia, I can't wait to hear more about this. You have the floor. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Bill, and great to be with everybody today. So the story of Jaylor Pure Paso is essentially my father, Jerry Lohr, grew up in a farming family in South Dakota where he really cultivated a deep love of soil and of the land, and his meticulous approach to life led him to Stanford, where he was pursuing his graduate degree in civil engineering. His building partner from his first business, and he discovered that they had a mutual love of wine. So that set them afoot to explore California's Central Coast. First and foremost, Arroyo Seco in Monterey County, where we had our first plantings in 1972 to about 9 different varieties. And after some trial and error, really learning that Chardonnay, Cabernet did not grow well side by side in that cool climate, Templeton Gap influenced maritime setting. In 1986, he traveled with his team to Paso Robles, where some of the most dynamic and vibrant red wines were emerging from. So armed with this tremendous love of land, this meticulous approach to grape growing, and just a real burgeoning California undiscovered Central Coast, we planted in 86, and our 35 years of wine grape growing and winemaking in Paso Robles, plus tasting just a cavalcade of beautiful Bordeaux varieties and blends, led us to marry our most popular variety, Cabernet Sauvignon, with our earliest planting, Petite Syrah, from 1984. And so the Jaylor Pure Paso really pays homage to those 2 varieties, and does so in just a really beautiful blend of the savory notes of Cabernet Sauvignon, coupled with the more overt blackberry notes of Petite Syrah. Now, if you've grown up with Jaylor, as many of you have, you might think that this packaging represents a bit of a departure for Jaylor. Truly so. So when we celebrated our 40th anniversary just a number of years ago, we decided to take a step away from the print label and silkscreen. Pure Paso for us really is a story about our roots in Paso Robles and extending the love of the land to consumers everywhere. So with Pure Paso, when we launched 2 years ago, we wanted to blanket all touch points available to us, both on premise and off premise. And that set forth everything from a digital strategy and video and point of sale, all romanticizing and educating consumers on the magic and beauty of Paso Robles. So at Jaylor, we really believe that authenticity is a superpower. We wear that badge very proudly, and I could not talk authenticity if I didn't pass the baton to my director of winemaking, Steve Peck, to tell us a little bit about these incredible soils. Steve?
Sure. You know, as a winemaker, it was really exciting for us to take on this project. You know, it had been about 9 years since the launch of our Flume Crossing Sauvignon Blanc from the Arroyo Seco in Monterey County. So, you know, we've seen a lot of flash trends come and go in the marketplace. Jaylor doesn't make a Pinot Grigio. You know, we don't make a Moscato, you know, Rosé, you can find a little bit in our tasting room. So we're a very traditional, I guess I'd call it like grower producer type philosophy at Jaylor. If it's not in the ground and it's not something we do, we are not going to, you know, crank out a new label every 6 months or every year. So it had been 9 years. And as Cynthia said, you know, it really had been 35 plus years in Paso Robles that we had experience. And we had a task to create a unique flavor profile. And really, you know, when you talk about the Paso Robles wine growing region, which again is halfway between San Francisco and LA, you can't really talk about Paso Robles wine without talking about Jaylor and kind of.
Steve, I got to give you like 10 seconds. I'm so sorry, just to keep it fair for everybody.
Yeah, no problem. And so really it's about the flavor profile. And then when you look at that package, the elegance that it communicates and the sense of place that it communicates, we really feel like the wine quality picks up where that package leaves off and leaves everybody in a happy place.
Well, thank you, Cynthia and Steve. Again, time for the judges to come in with some questions that I'm sure they all have. Great job presenting. Amy, can you kick us off, please?
Sure. I was wondering, what other brands are you competing against? Like, what are the other wines in the competitive set with this brand? Like with this specific version of this brand?
Yes, terrific question. Thank you for that. So Amy, we really look at both Paso Robles and Napa Valley, and certainly others in our competitive set. So for instance, you could look at Pessimist and Orange Swift and others of that ilk. Though the beauty of our growing in Paso Robles, the fact that we grow, produce, and bottle our wines allows us to keep a modest price point. But certainly in that higher end red blend category, we see our competitive set within there.
Sure. And what is this bottle retail for currently?
It's $27.
Retail.
Correct.
What's
I
the
just
volume?
wanted to add just a couple of comments when reviewing this wine. I just thought that because Paso is so popular right now, I think this wine is extremely relevant. And people are actively seeking out Paso as an area in everything that they're doing. I find them mentioning it now as if they're, Sonoma, Napa. I really think the wine is beautiful. The pure name in it really lends itself to a sense of place with Paso. I thought that was really creative and well done, but also it triggered the notion for me of the better for you movement. So I think what you're doing is great. And I think it's going to be really successful.
Thank you, Amy. We really wanted to harness our story, anchor it to Paso Robles as one of the first to put Paso on the map in addition to some others. And we trademarked Pure Paso, actually.
Great.
What is the blend of Cab and Petit Syrah?
It's roughly 70% Cabernet Sauvignon, 30% Petit Syrah. And the Cabernet in particular, it's from some of the cooler parts of the appellation. So it has a little bit more of that minty, almost Alexander Valley character, which is a little bit different than our typical house style, where we're generally a little bit riper. So it has that really green savoriness that Cabernet can have. Again, blended with that more overt blackberry of Petit Syrah.
I think Mr. Slater has a question.
I have a question and a comment. First of all, there's no doubt that your family, Cynthia, they're the pioneers up there. So there's a lot of newcomers to the appellation. So if anyone can lead the way, it should be you. Question about the SKU. Is it a single SKU, Pure Paso, as this red blend?
Yes, it is a single SKU,
Okay.
Steve. And we designed it as thus because we believe that the merit is in the story and in the wine. The flavor profile is one that's very accessible, and it really is its own, it's its own category for which we're extremely proud. And thank you for the kind regards for our family.
And for Steve Peck, what is the production of this particular vintage?
Yeah, we're right at around 20,000 cases on this. It launched in late 2019, which, maybe September. And so you can imagine with, the on-premise aspect of the rollout is kind of, quite disrupted. And so we're right on back, but it's coming from our own vineyards, our whole vertical integration from the ground up. And so we're in a position to, probably, double, go through doublings over, periods of every, 2 to 5 years, and still support that with our own vineyard acreage, which is, over 2,500 acres in Paso Robles these days that we own and manage ourselves.
Is it packed 6 or 12s?
Six packs.
Okay. Thank you. I'm done. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cynthia and Steve. We are now on to our third contender. Wow, we are moving along here today. Thank you both. We really appreciate the time. Excellent presentation. We have Natalie Vrimia from Art Rouge Collection. It is the new luxury wine from Bordeaux, France. I have to say, your packaging, absolutely beautiful. Please tell us a little bit more about your brand. You have the floor.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. I'm Natalie, and I'll present you Arch, the wine of the Chardonnay du Riviere. It's a tiny property of 8 hectares in a Saint-Emilion Grand Cru appellation in a The winery has changed its ownership in 2013. The new owner, has a great passion for wine and art, and he decided to bring it together in a one project. So the new winery was designed by the world famous architect Jean Nouvel, and the leading Merlot specialist Louis Midjavieux was invited to be our winemaker and the vineyard manager. The Archers Foundation, based in London, has granted the chateau the right to use its name and the paintings on a bottle design. So it's how the Archers brand was born. The first vintage is dating back to 2014. Each year we produce only one wine, but it's labeled with 12 different paintings of Russian artists of 19th and 20th centuries. All the paintings belong to Archers Foundation. We do tremendous work on vineyard to be able to achieve the exceptional quality of the grapes. And those grapes come for Gravity Flow Winery, equipped with the most advanced technologies. The wine then aged for over 20 months in 100% new oak barrels, French, obviously. These barrels are super fine blend barrels of Radu cooperage. This is a selection of the best French oak. So the great terroir, know-how, and voila, the respected judges had already tasted the Archers wine, and you see that this is a sophisticated fine wine, which is absolutely adorable to enjoy now, but it has a great potential for aging. But on a certain level of the quality, especially being in such region as Bordeaux with so many great wines, it's a time to play the marketing card. And Archers is absolutely unique brand. It stands out of all the Bordeaux fine wines and beyond. The unique shape of the bottle, it's a reminiscent of ancient Saint-Emilion bottles, and actually it allows to display quite nicely the labels. Each Magnum bottle is handcrafted manually at the oldest French glassware with a living heritage enterprise status. And then the packaging, you see here the amazing red wooden box, which just jumped out of any shell. But however, they are just a frame for a beautiful bottle and wine collection. The Archers, it's experience. It's like you're visiting a gallery, because you see the painting in the frame, you see the name of the painter, you see the name of the artwork on a table, then the name of the brand is on the capsule. The provenance, Saint-Emilion Grand Cru, is engraved on each bottle. The technical details you can find at the back label. Actually, Archers, it's absolutely discovery for fine wine lovers and for those who love art collectors, and for those who just are interested and excited about the beautiful objects. So they will fall in love with the Archers bottle and our luxury packaging. For example, this beautiful leather case is handcrafted in the south of France manually and nestled with 3 vintages. It's a gorgeous, privileged gift. The wine itself is very attractive for sommelier because of storytelling and the quality of the wine. It's listed in the Michelin-starred restaurants in France and around Europe, in Singapore, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, and in the United States, we have an importer and distributor in Illinois. And we really hope that the American fine wine lovers will appreciate Archers brand, our unique art concept, but as well the delicious taste and the style of the Archers.
I can't wait to try it. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. It's now time for our judges to once again come back. Chad, what are your thoughts?
Just a couple of questions. So first off, Natalia, on that 6-pack to your right, those are all the same wine, but just have different artwork?
Exactly. It's
okay.
1 wine per vintage, but here there are 6 bottles. But in general, one collection consists of 12 bottles. So 2 cases by 6, divided by Series A, Series B, just to do not confuse ourselves and our distributors around the world. So every time we know what is inside, what kind of labels are inside the case is important.
Okay, and is that wood or is that like a cardboard box that it comes in?
The board, the
Yeah.
wooden case, it's our
It is
regular
wood. Okay.
case. Yeah, and it's produced as well in France with the Living Heritage Enterprise as well. We kind of support those old ancient French producers which do it, you know, the French, they are good in the handcrafting the things. So they are really good to see and to touch.
And then you also sell this in this 3-pack, which is directly behind you.
Yes. This is a kind of gift packaging for us. So this one is regular. We have as well just one individual wooden box. It can work in a wine shop already as a gift packaging, but for us it's like a regular. But this is a gift packaging. We have a unique chess case with the 6 bottles. With a chessboard and pieces inside. So we are good in the marketing.
And that 3-pack, what differentiates the wines is there 3 different vintages?
Initially, we're intended to celebrate our 3 first vintages, 2014, 15, 16. But now, to be honest, the distributors, they play how they prefer, or 3 vintages, or 3 bottles of the same vintage. Then it's up to our partners on site.
And what price point are you looking for?
Sorry,
on the wine?
How
much per bottle?
The
retail in the US.
Yeah, the retail price in the US, it's at $350 per bottle.
Per bottle.
Yeah, and $390 per bottle for the other vintages, 15, 16.
Thank you, Chad. I've got to let Leon take a shot at it, and then Cheryl. They both have their hands up. So, yeah, Cheryl, why don't you take it away?
Natalia, you know, you sent, if you can see, you sent the single bottle, the wood package along, you know, with the wine. So are you saying the wine is available in 6-pack, in 3-pack, in single? Is that correct? It's 3 different sizes. This is available for retail?
Yes, exactly. Thank you for showing this individual box. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Cheryl, go ahead.
Okay, great. You had mentioned that, so you're currently distributed in Illinois only?
Yes, we have a partner.
What are your US expansion plans and in terms of, you know, what markets do you want to be in, and then what kind of resources are you going to put behind that?
As soon as the Archers, it's a really niche product. So we want to be presented in top-notch places in the West Coast and the East Coast and Texas, so California, New York, Florida, where are the fine dining restaurants, because it's the strategy which we implemented in Europe. The sommeliers, they really love our brand and they are engaged. So after it's placed listed in the restaurants, it works as a vitrine for fine wine lovers. They see it and they order for themselves to drink with friends, to store in their cellars. So we have a very tiny production. It's only 2,500 cases per year, and it's also divided by other markets. But the American fine wine lovers are very important for us. So we really want to reach those people who will appreciate Archers.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Beautiful brand, great story. Thank you for presenting. And again, I'm looking forward to trying it. So we've got, it's hard to believe we're halfway through, guys. Absolutely incredible. We're moving along here. Everyone's doing a great job. I hope everyone is enjoying hearing from all the feedback that we have from our great judges. Really great job to our judges as well. Next up, we have Alexi Kamenko from MyStory. The philosophy behind MyStory Wines is inviting people to start a conversation. MyStory Wines invites you to write your name and tell your story. Alexi, take it away.
Hello, thank you for having me. Today I would like to tell about my story. My name is Alexi and this is my wines. little bit about me. Born and raised in Russia, professional ballet dancer for 12 years, retired when I was 29. After this, opened my first business. Then 2 years later, opened my first distribution company, wine wholesale house. Built it up and sold it 7 years later. When I was with the company, I loved building new brands. My favorite part was talking about taste profiles, talking about packaging, but love learning story from another suppliers and tell them to my consumers. That's why when I left the company, a lot of my old suppliers come to me and say, Alexi, you have to have your own brand. Broke down finally in 2019, opened MyStory Wine Company. Then bottled my first wines March of last year, best time. With my story, I'm trying to engage people into my brand. I'm trying to engage people into conversation because we've been yelling and screaming at each other for the last few years. And I believe it's time for us to sit down and have a friendly conversation. This is why I left a little space on each bottle where people can write their names. It's kind of write your name, tell your story, because I believe all of us have a story worth telling. All the wines are 100% estate, Paso Robles, Templeton Gap. We're going to start with Chardonnay. Chardonnay is very fresh, a lot of fresh pear, beautiful acidity, a little bit of butterscotch finish. Most of the wine is stainless steel. We do blend a little bit of barrel-aged Chardonnay in it, but the secret is 10% Viognier. Viognier just brings this great freshness and very perfumey wine. Great food-friendly wine. If you have fish, chicken, pasta, creamy sauce, it is fantastic. Next one is Red Blend. Red Blend is kind of big, bold, muscly wine. Very unusual blend. It's actually 44% Tannat, Titsera, Zinfandel, and we blend 4% Viognier. Tannat bring this dark, deep color. Zinfandel bring this beautiful white pepper spice in the middle. And Viognier just soften everything, create incredibly soft, silky, almost velvety finish. Next one is the Cabernet right here. Cabernet is bright fruit Cabernet. A lot of cherry, specifically tart cherry. Love the finish on this one. A lot of smokiness, tobacco, a lot of barrel flavor. We do blend about 12% Merlot into it. Great grilling wine, fantastic grilling wine. And last but not least, we have a very unique wine, probably. This is the first ever bourbon barrel aged Malbec. And this wine was in the wine barrels for 2 years. By the way, all my reds, we aged 2 years in the wine barrels. We use French and Hungarian. We do 30% new, rest about 2 to 4 years. Then I put this Malbec in a freshly harvested bourbon barrels for 3 months. This is just beauty. You have best of both worlds. You get all the fruit from Malbec. You have blackberry, blueberry, blackcurrant. On the other hand, you have the hints from bourbon. You get hints vanilla. You get caramel. You get oatmeal, almost like oatmeal cookie flavor. You get cherry, chocolate. Just a very, very multi-layered wine. Well, thank you for having me. And this is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. Well, Alexi, great job. Let's bring back our judges again. Leon, kick us off, please.
Alexi, I did have fun with it. You know, in my personal opinion, you're absolutely right. You know, wine should bring people together. It should be entertaining. It should be inviting. And I like that. I think that gives you an edge up when you write your name onto it and you walk into the house and already you are eliciting some nice conversation with your friends or whatnot. So I got to give you a high five on that one. So let me ask you this, with the number of varietals that you have, what's your production? How is it packed? And what's the price point?
Well, this is the first year. Well, like I said, we launched it in April of last year. And this year, I'm just starting in 2021, I'm just starting to expand to other markets. And I think last year we bought about 3,000 cases. This year, we're going to do probably about 5,000 cases or so. Price points for the white labels right here, Chardonnay, Red Blend, Cabernet, they're about $16.99 a shelf. And Malbec is about $19.99 to $24.99, depends on the market, you know. and they're packed 12 packs.
Any other questions from the judges?
What's your digital marketing strategy to get the?
We do social media, but we're very small. We do as much as we can. I believe I was raised by independents when I had my company, and I believe in market work. I believe in placements. I believe in tastings, consumer tastings. I do consumer tastings every Friday, Saturday, and I was in Florida last week working the market. We did 3 tastings in 4 days, consumer tastings, besides working the market. And I believe in having the people in the different markets. And I do engage with other companies who do tastings for me in the markets where I don't have people.
Thank you. Beautiful wines.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I think Cheryl has her hand up. Cheryl, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was really intrigued by the red blend. I think that's a really interesting, 44% tenant, like that's a really interesting and unique blend. Tell me a little bit more about the vineyards and where the grapes are grown.
Well, we're in Templeton. It's a friend of mine. He's a grower and he also my winemaker. We have about 78 acres. Love about the blend. I love pouring for some years because people really love idea about Tanat because it's kind of a rare thing that you see. They love that we do blend about 4% Viognier in it because it's just completely change the whole the whole flavor profile of this wine.
Thank you. Yeah.
Question. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
Yeah.
We done?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
You had a breakaway with the Malbec label. The other 3, they're easy to write your name on if that was the concept. Yeah. How do you write your name on a black label?
Well, we haven't figured this out yet with the silver marker. But with the Malbec, what I was trying to do, the white labels, I really wanted to keep it classic packaging. This is why the bottle is kind of straight and the label straight. With Malbec, we did a little bit broader shoulders. We did black label, we did cork, very long cork, expensive cork, because I wanted to make it more like a reserve level. Then we're actually going to do a couple of fun things with this. I'm releasing single barrel Malbecs. I'm going to offer 10 single barrels to my customers this year. Then in December of next year, we're going to release Cabernet because I had a lot of people asking for continuation in the same line.
Alexi, thank you. Great job. Unfortunately, your time is up. We are going to be moving on, but wonderful job. Next, we are going to hear from Scott Maybaum with Good Fucking Wine. Good Fucking Brands develops, creates, and markets wine and spirits with an edge. Surprise, surprise. I can't wait to hear this story. Tell us about your brand, Scott. Take it away, buddy.
So I hope you can hear me. So my name is Scott Maybaum, and I got to start the video here. Sorry about this. Okay, we good now? All right.
We're good. We're good.
All right. So my name is Scott Maybaum, and I'm a former New Jersey retailer, and I'm the owner of Good Fucking Wine, and I hope I don't fuck this presentation up. So fuck, it's just a word. It's a word that's used every single day, and so many people use it. A brand like mine couldn't have been created long ago. It was only in 2019 that the Supreme Court ruled on a profanity case and determined that profanity could in fact be trademarked. So I decided to take a chance. I trademarked the brand. I applied for the COLA. I hired a winery. And in March of 2020, started to sell in New York and New Jersey with 2 small distributors. I say small because they've got less than 10 salesmen in each, and I think they've done an incredible job. They've opened up over 750 stores, and remarkably 87%, that's over 650 of those stores, have reordered. Most stores start with 5 cases to get the best price, and they sell the wine between $14 and $16.99 a bottle. There are stores that are buying this wine by the pallet now. In total, in the last 16 months, I sold 15,000 cases of red. I sold 3,600 cases of rosé. And in December of 2020, we did a limited release, Good Fucking Bubbles, Fuck 2020, and sold 900 cases in just a few hours. I'm confident that the line extensions that I have coming are going to sell as well. I've got a Prosecco coming at the end of the month, made in Veneta, a DOC. I've also engaged a distiller in Utica, New York to make Good Fucking Vodka and Good Fucking Bourbon. And I'm confident that these things are going to sell. Our customers love us. I do in-store tastings, so I have firsthand experience with what's going on. People come in, I ask them if they want to taste some good fucking wine. You can't imagine the facial expressions that I get. They come over to the table with a smile. I show them my rosé. I tell them that it's a Chiretto from the hillsides of Lake Garda. I tell them that it's made from 4 red-skinned grapes. I tell them that it's dry. That's a very popular wine in Italy. I let them taste it. And if they like it, they say, yeah, this is good fucking rosé. When it comes to the red, I tell them that it's a California blend, that it's made from Cabernet and Syrah and Mourvedre and a Tempranillo, and that it has aromas of vanilla from oak, and that is very smooth, and they taste it and they say, this is good fucking red, good fucking wine. The quality in the bottle, I think, meets the expectations of our consumers, and the brand sells itself. We think we produce a real wine for real people, and what I say, a real person is a person that's comfortable using the word fuck to express their feelings. The way we see it, I've got no competition because we're the only brand that has the word fuck on it. So with the line extensions, I think we're going to stand out from everyone else on the shelf. We're also appealing to our customers in a very unique, creative way. If you've taken the time, you can visit our Facebook page, our Instagram page. You can see all of the UGC, the user-generated content. Our friends, our consumers, they love us, we love them, and they send us lots of information, lots of posts and videos to use. It's fun. On Mondays, we do a creative post, often a quote, a famous quote or our own quote, always with the word fuck in it. It takes the quote to another level. It generates laughs, generates smiles. It's our way of brand building. On Fridays, we have Flip Off Fridays. We ask our customer to hold up a bottle, flip the bird, and we're flipping off the work week and bringing in the weekend. Lots of fun, lots of smiles. I got a communication manager. She is always on the phone communicating to people interested in buying our wines. If they come from New Jersey, New York, we're feeding them to the stores. If they're from out of state, then they go to the website. On the website, I see where the wines are coming in from and where the wines are going to. And most importantly, I read the messages. And the messages say, you know, have a good fucking birthday. You're the best fucking dad. You're the best fucking friend. Abso-fucking-lutely. The point is that the brand is going across the country, and this contest is perfect for us because it's bringing us brand awareness, and hopefully we'll link up with some distributors that can appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry it took so long.
No. Thank you, Scott. Great job. Time for our judges to come back in. Michael, can you kick us off, please?
Absolutely. Where's your plans for the next steps in distribution?
Well, there are certain states that I see a lot of interest. And if I can line up distributors in those states, that would be great.
How do you think that label is going to play? I'm in Atlanta. How do you think that label is going to play?
Well, Georgia happens to be one of those markets that we're getting a lot of interest. If you go online, you'll see the people from Georgia. They have these wine groups, and they're sending wine to the whole group to taste it once. So I can just tell you that I know that Georgia, there's consumers that want our products.
Absolutely. It's wonderful wine. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Steve, can you, I think Steve has a question.
Sure, Scott. Listen, shock value is real. It grabs people on the shelf for sure. If you wanted to make good fucking wine, why not great fucking wine?
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it trademarked already. Okay. Maybe coming in the future.
Secondly, you know, 16,000 cases of red in a few short months is nothing to shake a stick at. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Where is your target audience? Is it guys' night out? Is it?
No.
Tell me what it is.
It's all over the place. And if you were going to go on Facebook and see the demographics, I mean, I can tell you that 60% of our shoppers are women. But we're appealing to that 25 to 50. That's where about 75% of our consumers are. But there are grandmothers that are buying this for their kids. There are kids that are buying it, not when I say kids, I mean, still adults that are buying it for their grandparents. I mean, people relate to it. It's amusing, it's fun.
Thank you.
Chad, you got a question?
Yeah, just say, Scott, pretty cool idea. But just in terms of this trademark, so can anyone else use the F word in a alcohol label? Like, what have you been able to trade? You've trademarked good fucking
wine,
rosé,
right?
or...
But I don't have the exclusive use of the word good or the word wine.
But the F word you do.
But I do.
Okay. All right. No, that was good. Thank you.
Any other questions from the judges?
Yeah, Scott, I just my opinion, I don't know if I would ever see it in a national account like a Kroger and whatnot, but this is fun. It really does bring a smile to my face. So I got to give you that for the shock value. But do you see it more, as far as your customer, more of the independent retail, Scott?
Yeah, for sure. It's resonated in New York and New Jersey because there really aren't any significant change. And I totally understand the whole philosophy about a store that has children that shop through it. They may not be for them. But on the other hand, the wine doesn't have to be put into a big display in front in those particular stores. But for sure, it's the independents that like it. And the independents like that the chains don't have it because they're making full margin on it.
Awesome. Well, Scott, great job. Great effing job, as you would appreciate. We are now on to our sixth and final contender. We have Stéphane Rouveroux from Le Star. With its roots in the heart of Bordeaux, Meson Star counts 6 chateaux and almost 600 hectares of vines, making it one of Bordeaux wine industry's key players. Stéphane, take it away.
Hi. I'm fucking stressed. So I'm going to show you something. This is the Chateau Cazot. This is our headquarters. So the concept of our wine in cans is to put this ambiance, this mood, and all our DNA into that small piece of aluminum. I will change my picture later. Meson Star is a company which is almost 50 years old today. So we own more than 600 hectares of vineyards in Bordeaux and around this place. And we own six chateaux in Bordeaux. So this is our real DNA. Since more than 50 years, we are really professional. And our savoir-faire is focused on making wines. And our idea was to say, okay, we are one of the biggest supplier in French supermarket and in UK supermarket. We are doing a lot of private labels. And now our strategy is really to develop our presence on the export market, especially in the US. We are working in the US since several years with people like Costco, H-E-B, Specs, and big retailers. And we want to put that piece of Bordeaux and that piece of France really all over the world. So why did we choose the wine in a can concept? First of all, the wine in a can is really eco-friendly. It's 100% recyclable. So that's very important for us. This is a really important point for us and for our children. We really need to think about the eco-friendly concept. The second point is that there is no waste in terms of wines. Our wines are 250 centiliters, and then we are able to open different kind of wines, one rosé, one white, one red, and share with friends. And there are no waste. If you are with someone, with one guy or one girl, you cannot, or you can difficultly open 2 bottles, but you can very easily open 2 wine in 2 cans. This is a concept that which is very easy to transport. You can put it with, you can bring you at the beach, you can bring you in a music concert, you can bring it in your garden, to your pool. It's a very easy way to drink wine and to enjoy our wines. We really want to put this wine in the cans everywhere in the US. We have already signed a contract, and the first containers are leaving our warehouse in a few days. It will be, first of all, it will be a partner which is selling the wine online. So this wine here, the Star Bubble, will be available in almost 48 states. So I think the wines arrive within 4 weeks. So it will be mid of August. But today we are looking for more traditional partners in the US. That's why I'm here. That's the concept, of the wine in a can, Le Star.
Awesome. Well, Stefan, thank you very much. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
I'd love to come and visit that beautiful vineyard in your backdrop. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So
you're both welcome at this place, and we have some very nice hotels and rooms for partners in the chateaus.
Wonderful. Well, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the judges. Cheryl, what are your thoughts?
Great. Well, I want to say these wines were really easy to drink right out of the can. I really enjoyed them. I really like the package. I think it very much shares exactly what it is in terms of, you know, where the wine is from, with the little mustache and the French flag in there. So kudos on that. It definitely caught my eye, and I thought the quality was really good.
Thank you very much.
A couple of questions. You didn't say anything about price point, so I was curious about that. And then secondly, any supply chain issues because of kind of the can situation?
Yes. So for the first question, the price point will be $4.99 for buy the can. Okay, buy the can. And we also offer the pack of 4 cans. Okay, which will be roughly $19.99. In terms of range, we have still wine. So our first range of wine in the cans, it's monocépage, Grenache for rosé, Merlot for the red, and Chardonnay for the white. And we just launched the Bubble Le Star, which is roughly the same cepage, but we add some, it's carbonated wines. So we add some guys 24 hours into the tank before to put in the can. Okay, and to answer to your second question, in terms of supply, our capacity today is we are able to can the wine by 200,000 cans a day. So we are able to talk with big retailers and for example, Aldi, we are talking with Aldi in the US. I know they have a huge wine in cans strategy and the development, and we are totally able to supply this kind of accounts.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Slater, any questions from you, sir?
The only question I have is, do you have stateside inventory, or is everything DI?
We worked on that point this year in 2021, and we will be able to have a warehouse in 2022. I hope it will be open in January. So within 6 months, we will have pallets ready to be shipped in any states for any partners by the pallet.
That's great. By the way, the wines do drink great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You said that you have a bubble line extension coming. Is there a continuation? Will there be more line extensions as well?
No, for now, this is the only wine line that we have. So the new one, the bubble one, is dated from yesterday. We just got it yesterday. But of course, we are thinking about wine in cocktails. And we have some projects for 2022 on this kind of cocktails. But for now, we are really focused on our still wines and sparkling wines in cans.
Any idea the shelf life on the product yet?
No, not for now.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you to our contenders and our judges.
Thank you.
Excellent job in the presentations. Everyone did a great job. Certainly the judges had great feedback, great questions. So for me, hosting this was absolutely a wonderful, wonderful event today. So with that said, I now have to send off our judges to do the very difficult task of deliberating on this category. And we're going to see who will move on to the championship round, which will take place on Tuesday, September 14th. So while the judges deliberate, I would also ask you to vote for the brand that you would like to see win the People's Choice Award for today based on their pitch and bottle. The vote box should be popping up right now. So if you vote, click right on, you're good to go. Awesome. And while the judges deliberate, we are once again going to hear from Dale Stratton with SipSource. Dale will spend a few minutes sharing that valuable information, knowledge is power, as they always say, on the wine category that WSWA has obtained from SipSource data. Dale, welcome back.
Bill, thank you very much. And going to start here. We do have May data. So we're moving in with new data from what we've been seeing the last couple of brand battles. And we can see that the innovation that we're seeing in the wine from these producers is much needed as the wine category is suffering compared to spirits. Spirits are growing 7.7%, and we see wine is down 2.1% and has really been struggling as it's come out of the pandemic. Moving on to the next slide. One of the benefits of SipSource is our ability to look at both on-premise and off-premise data. And this slide indicates spirits are on the left, wine is on the right-hand side. And you can see that the spirits category is really ramping up much faster than the wine category in the on-premise. Seems as though operators are building their inventory on the spirit side faster than they are on the wine side coming out of it. An example of that, next slide, please. The lodging category, which has a box around it, is really much more important to the wine category. Go back pre-pandemic, and it was over 10% of all depletions were going into the lodging category. And you can see compared to dining, bar, and nightclub and recreation, very much down, 58.4%. And it's been slow to recover, as have transportation, but those are smaller. So that lodging segment sub-channel is really a place to look at and has hurt the wine category more so than it has spirits, as hotels have been slower to come out of the recovery. Next slide, please. Also, when we look at this on the right-hand side, that is wine, spirits again on the left. The top bar, the darker bar, represents the trend in off-premise. The yellow bar represents trend in the on-premise. And we just haven't really had a on-premise segment or region jump out and start back into aggressive growth. A little bit better in the South Atlantic, but the Pacific and the Northeast, so the right and left coast are really pulling it back and holding wine growth back that we would love to see get corrected in the months coming. Next slide, please. And then as I look at this, sparkling wines are doing well. We'll see a little bit more on this, but you can see by the lines here that the two lines that are really trending up are sparkling, being the top one being the imported sparkling wine, the next one being domestic. And imported wines, even in table, are outperforming domestic wines at a pretty good clip. Next slide, please. This is looking at growth rates by varietal for table wine. The bars represent the share of each of those varietals, where the dots are representing the trend versus the same period last year. As we look at this, we can see that Sauvignon Blanc continues to do well. Sauvignon Blanc has been doing very well. Rosé up almost 2%, doing well when you think about a segment that is down 4%. And a little bit that pink Moscato, that came out really big last year with the convergence of Moscato and pink. Those trends are softening a little bit. But really, when we think about this with Cab and Chard, those two big segments are struggling, and it's tough for the category to grow if those two large segments are suffering. Next slide, we talked about sparkling. You can see that broken down further. And when we talk about imports doing well, very clearly, Prosecco and Champagne have done very, very well now. Champagne got hurt especially hard coming out of the pandemic, early days there with its reliance on-premise, but it has bounced back quite nicely. The specialty wines, a lot of that growth is coming from fruit-infused table wines. We're seeing very good growth in that. And then that wine other, that's largely made up of wine-based cocktails, and that segment continues to do very well. Next slide, please. And the last slide, we'll look at price segment. And again, the bar represents the share of volume that is done in each of those price segments, with the dot representing the trend. And we can see that the lower price segments are continuing to struggle. Super premium, and that super premium price segment is the 11 to $14.99. Ultra premium is 15 to 25, and the luxury is over 25. We're starting to see the luxury tip back into the positive trends. So the lower price segments are really what is driving the category down. With that, I'm going to turn it back over so that we can see which one of those exciting brands wins the day.
All right. Well, thank you, Dale, for the great information. I am now really excited to announce today's winners. First up, we have our People's Choice winner that all of our viewers selected. The People's Choice winner for the wine category is, can I get a drum roll, please? Jaylor, congratulations. Wow, excellent. I know it came down to the wire, but you guys, it was almost a photo finish. You pulled it out, so congratulations. So exciting for you. Now, we are moving on to the judges' choice for best category winner, who will proceed to the Brand Battle Championship Tournament September 14th. Today's wine category winner is Good Fucking Wine. Congratulations. You are moving on to the championship tournament. Bravissimo, bravissimo. So congratulations to everyone. I think everyone who participated is a winner. A lot of eyes watched this today. Obviously, a lot of great executives and distributors in the industry. So a big congratulations to everyone. Certainly a big congratulations to Good Fucking Wine. Way to go. Exciting stuff. Awards, just so everyone knows, awards will be mailed to you in the next few weeks. Again, I want to thank everyone who participated today. You certainly all had great, unique products. I also want to let people know, for everyone viewing, all of the Contenders information can be found in the online Brand Battle directory. The link to the directory has been placed in the chat box, but it can also be found on the tournament website. We also would like to make all of you aware, but especially members of the media who are in attendance today, that there'll be a category winner virtual press briefing following this broadcast. You'll hear from today's winner about their experience, and you'll be able to ask them any questions that you have for your reporting. So you can find the link to this briefing in the chat box, or email alena@wswa.org. That's alena@wswa.org for more information. Again, we want to thank our sponsors of today's tournament, 750 and Beverage Media Group, as well as our other tournament supporters. We certainly hope you've enjoyed today's program and that you'll watch other Tournament Tuesday competitions this summer. In 2 weeks, we'll hear from 5 contenders from another popular category. And I think we can all register at the link in the chat box or online today to save your seat. Certainly hope everyone has a great week. Look forward to seeing you all very soon. Congratulations to everyone who participated. And thank you for everyone who tuned in. Have a great week, everybody. I'm Bill Rancic, and I will see you next time.
Thank you.